Hello and welcome to another episode of the Woke is Broke podcast. I'm your host, as always, Joshua Stanko. And if you're wondering why I'm filming out of a car today, it is because I am currently on the road for the next couple of weeks. But don't worry, I'll be back behind the desk in no time. In the meantime, though, our regular episodes will be airing, as always. So with that being said, let's get to the news, shall we? So Andre the Giant's child, Lea Thomas, won another swim competition. Surprise, surprise. For those of you who aren't aware, Lea Thomas is a dude. He's a man. Changed his name to Lea Thomas, who was mediocre at best when it came to swimming as a man, and then decided that he could receive, or rather steal a lot of trophies from girls if he competed against them. And, there's always the argument that, maybe he is legitimately suffering from gender dysphoria. I don't know that I buy that. If you typically look at people who are suffering from gender dysphoria and transition over, right, what do you see? You see men with very effeminate body language, right? Their voice, they change their voice, right? They present themselves like a girl in a lot of ways. If you listen to Lea Thomas in any of this dude's interviews, he just seems like a guy with long hair. And I know that that's hardly concrete evidence of anything, but it does lead me to suspect that this is not him legitimately suffering from gender dysphoria, but that he is rather a very, very petty, selfish individual who gets off on being able to grandstand, who gets off on the internet, the national attention that he's receiving right now, and who gets off on getting trophies and awards, even if that means that he effectively has to cheat to do it, right? Because there's nothing right about a biological man competing against women when it comes to sports. Men do have a biological advantage. There's no arguing that at the end of the day. And I'm not a big sports guy, not by any means. I don't keep up with any of it. I don't really know any of the athletes. I don't care about the scores at all. And so why am I speaking out on this particular issue? Well, because in the words of George Costanza, we live in a society, right? We are all interconnected in that way. And it bothers me greatly to see young girls who dedicate years of their lives to something, to being the best, to doing the best that they can do in order to earn scholarships that they really need for college, to have those scholarships taken away from them. It bothers me to see young girls who wake up every single day and give it their all, right? To be the best of the best and to get up there and to try and have a little taste of the glory for themselves, right? To earn those medals, to earn those trophies, to have those things taken away from them because one guy feels a little effeminate when he wakes up in the morning. I think that's wrong. I think that's really messed up. I think that's disgusting. And the reality is if we're all being honest, everyone knows that as well. Every single person knows that this is wrong on a moral level. Everybody does. And yet we have to pretend like we don't. We have to pretend that there isn't anything wrong with Lea Thomas getting up there and stealing these trophies away from these young girls, right? That there's nothing wrong with that. We have to pretend that in order to, so as not to offend this one person at the expense of offending literally everyone else, at the expense of offending literally everyone who fought in the feminist movement, right, for women's rights, to have women's rights be systematically stripped away, to have the existence of women be systematically stripped away, to look at the top women of 2021, right, and see that, it turns out that they were all men, right? Men still exist. Women don't, not unless they're a man pretending to be a woman. And we have to pretend that that's okay, but deep down we all know that it's wrong. And yet, what have we seen? What have we seen? Have we seen anybody really stepping up and speaking out on this? Anybody who does have some actual, skin in the game, so to speak? We haven't seen a lot of athletes come out and speak out against this, not on the record. They'll do anonymous interviews on occasion. You'll see a parent or two pop up on occasion. But for the first time, we actually have an actual female swimmer who was involved in these competitions last week, who had their place taken by Lea Thomas, right? Actually come out on the record and speak out against it. But they really screw up in how they do it. And this athlete's name is Rika Gyorgy. And I'll just read the little statement that she put out on Instagram. She said, "Dear NCAA, I would like to address this past week's events and express my thoughts. First, I would like to remind everyone that I am a human being and that as a human being, I experience feelings and emotions." So you definitely know this is a chick, right? My name is Rika Gyorgy from Hungary. I am a 2016 Rio Olympian, represented Virginia Tech for the past 5 years, a two-time ACC champion, a 2-time All-American, and 3-time honorable mention All-American. With all due respect, I would like to address something that is a problem in our sport right now and hurting athletes, especially female swimmers. Everyone has heard and known about transgender Lea Thomas and her case, including all the issues and concerns that her situation brought to our sport. I'd like to point out that I respect and fully stand with Lea Thomas. I am convinced that she is no different than me or any other D1 swimmer who has woken up at 5 a.m. her entire life for morning practice. She has sacrificed family vacations and holidays for a competition. She has pushed herself to the limit to be the best athlete she could be. She is doing what she is passionate about and deserves that right. On the other hand, I would like to critique the NCAA rules that allow her to compete against us, who are biologically women. I'm writing this letter right now in hopes that the NCAA will open their eyes and change these rules in the future. It doesn't promote our sport in a good way, and I think it is disrespectful against the biologically female swimmer who are competing in the NCAA. Right, and she goes on to a little bit more detail right now, describing her loss to Lea Thomas, how she had her place stolen, yada, yada, yada. Here's the thing. The reason why this whole transgender issue matters, the reason why I speak out against it, isn't because I hold animus towards transgender people, all right? I don't. On a personal level, it doesn't affect me in any way if a man out there falsely believes himself to be a woman, right? I'm kind of a libertarian on that. I care about the implications for our society mainstreaming delusion. Why? Because reality matters. Reality matters. Objective reality exists. Okay, the reality is that Lea Thomas is not a she or a her. He is a man. And the problem with this kind of rebuke right now, from Rika Georgi, right? The problem here is that she completely deflates her argument. She lets all of the air out of her argument against this because she openly acknowledges and accepts Lea Thomas as being a woman in the language that she is using. She's saying Lea Thomas is no different than any D1 athlete. She refers to Lea Thomas as a her. She says, Lea Thomas, what? She has sacrificed family vacations and holidays for a competition. She has pushed herself to the limit, to be the best that she could be. She is doing what she is passionate about and deserves that right. Okay, well, if she's not any different than you, and if she deserves that right, and if she's made all the sacrifices and this is her passion, right, then why shouldn't Lea Thomas be allowed to compete against biological women? You can't answer that question because you just sided with it. There has to be a line. There has to be a general agreed upon acceptance of reality itself. That matters. You can't speak out against Lea Thomas competing in women's sports and say that Lea Thomas is a woman, and then at the same time say that she shouldn't be competing. Lea Thomas shouldn't be competing in women's sports because Lea Thomas is not a woman. That is why Lea Thomas should not be competing in women's sports. The reality is that Lea Thomas is different from female athletes because he is a man. That is reality. And if you want to forsake that in order to appear kind, right, in order to appear accepting, all right, well, then you don't have a leg to stand on when you're talking about this. You can't say Lea Thomas is just as passionate, not any different from you, and then say that he doesn't deserve that, and say that he deserves to pursue that passion, but he shouldn't be competing in women's sports. It's one or the other here right now. And this frustrates me because, again, this is a situation really that only women can really take on, right? I can talk about it all I want, but this is a woman's issue. Why? Because, again, men still exist. Right? There isn't any sort of attack on men right now in the sense that we are effectively being erased from existence by women who believe themselves to be men and want to start taking our places. I mean, that is happening to a certain extent when it comes to the whole feminist movement, right? And toxic masculinity, but that is a different conversation. What we're talking about when it comes to the transgender movement is the erasing of women. The idea that they ought to have their place taken away, that there's no such thing as a woman. Right? That only if a man calls himself a man. You don't hear about a lot of women transitioning into being men. It's not really a big deal. It's not a mainstream thing. But anytime a man decides that he's a woman, puts on a dress, there's all the support in the world for him, societally speaking. Right? So this is an attack on women, and it's one that can only be won by women who step up and put in some work, who take some risks. Okay? But this isn't doing anything. This isn't doing anything. This isn't even an argument right here. You're not going to win by being polite. And I do believe in protesting peacefully and respectfully, ideally if you can. All right? But this isn't a protest. It's openly agreeing with your opposition completely deflates your argument, and you're not going to change anything. And if you want to change something, and if you want to change that which we all know to be evil and wrong, because it is evil and wrong to try and erase women. It is evil and wrong for Lea Thomas to just steal positions from these women, from these girls, right? But if you want to change that, you have to be willing to take some risk. You have to be willing to endure some uncomfortability, to accept the consequences in order to do what's right. Not just for yourself, but for the girls that you're performing with, for the girls that come after you. That matters. That has to matter. How could it not? No, the reality is that this is a women's issue, big time. And women have to step up and speak out on this in ways that are far more assertive and crystal clear and siding with reality than Rika Georgi's here. It's not going to do anything, that entire little letter. It's not going to do anything. You have to side with reality if you want to win this issue. You have to. You have to put politeness to the side, and you have to start speaking the truth. The truth is the only thing that is going to allow you to present an argument that shows people that this is wrong. The truth is the only thing that is going to allow people to witness and see the pain that this is causing. But if you keep your mouth shut or speak out only when it's polite and acceptable to do so, nothing is going to change. This is going to get worse. That's the reality of the matter. So I do credit Rika Georgi for, at the very least, presenting some courage and speaking out. But the way that she's speaking out is not going to change anything. It's not. There has to be more. There has to be more. But in any event, that's all the time that we have for you guys here today. I am your host, as always, Joshua Stanko, saying stay safe, guys. Stay informed. God bless. And, well, thanks for tuning in today. I hope you enjoyed the program. We'll catch you later.